Okay, now we are going to start the English medium discussion, weekly one, on Tuesday. And we are usually in the Devata Sangyutta Nikaya. It is page number 61 in Buddha Jayanti series. This is named as Jetavana Sutta. Idang hitang jetavanang isi sangha nisevitang Avuttang dhammarajena piti sanjananang mama Khammang vijjaca dhammoca silang jivitamuttamang Etena maccha sujjanti nagottena nadhanena va Tasmai pandito poso sampassang attamattano Yoniso vichine dhammang evang tatta visujjati Sariputto apanyaya silenu pasamena ca yopi paragato bhikkhu etava paramosiyati. In Sinhala meaning, Bhikshu Samuya visin nitara thevunalada Dharmaraja වූ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ විසින් විසුම් ගන්නාලද මේ ජේතවනයේ මට ප්‍රීති උපදවන්නේය. ඒ අනාථපිණ්ඩික දේවතාවා කියනවා. එතකොට බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ මතක් කරනවා කර්මයේද විද්‍යාවද ධර්මාදි ධර්මයේද උතුම් ජීවිතයේද සීලයේද යන මේන් සත්‍යෝ පිරිසුදු වෙත්. ගෝත්‍රයෙන් හෝ ධනයෙන් හෝ පිරිසුදු නොවෙත්. එසේයින්ම නොනැති පුරුෂතමේ තමාගේ අභිවෘද්ධිය දන්නේ නුවණින් දහම රැස් කෙරෙන්නේය. එසේම ආර්ය මාර්ගයේ පිරිසුදු වෙයි. ප්‍රඥාවෙන්ද සීලයෙන්ද විපසමයෙන්ද සාරිපුත්‍ර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේම උතුම්ම පරතරට පැමිණියම් උතුම්ම පරතරට පැමිණියම් මහණෙක් වේ නම් මේ සාරිපුත්‍ර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේම උතුම් කොට ඇත්තේ වන්නේයයි බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරනවා. So we will now listen to the English translation.
Asai Swamin Wahanse, this is Bhikkhu Bodhi's English translation. The sutta is titled Jeta's Grove. Jeta's Grove. The Devata Anathapindika said, "This indeed is that Jeta's Grove, the resort of the order of seers, dwelt in by the Dhamma king, a place that gives me joy. Action, knowledge, righteousness, virtue, an excellent life, by these are mortals purified, not by clan or wealth. Therefore, a person who is wise, out of regard for his own good, should carefully examine the Dhamma, thus he is purified in it. Sariputta truly is endowed with wisdom, with virtue and with inner peace. Even a bhikkhu who has gone beyond, at best can only equal him." That's the end of the sutta.
To get more interpretation, you have to see Anathapindiko Ada Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. And it's a very elaborated sutta, and it says Anathapindika is such a character, one of the main supporters, lay supporters, and toward his old age, he was somewhat bankrupt, and somehow the other sustaining due to these past life treasures, and then he becomes sick, and he was sotapanna, so there was bearing as much as possible, but one day it went up to unbearable situation. So he sent a message to the Buddha telling that Anathapindika is at the zinking bed, and just inform and visit Venerable Sariputta and ask him, if possible, to visit me. Not to the Buddha, but to the Sariputta. Immediately Venerable Sariputta gets the message, asks Venerable Ananda to become the assistant. Both of them goes and give a Dhamma talk. And while giving, he analyzed the pain in such a way how to get a distance from the pain. Luckily he was in an understanding situation. Then he start to cry. And that and some other signs indicated Venerable Ananda that he is no more listening, He was in a delirium. And then about to go. Then he says, don't go it. Then Venerable Ananda told, I thought that you are in such a situation. That is, no. I am crying because you would have told me this when I was young. Now I am too old. So therefore, that is why reason I was so close to you all, given all the 4 requisites, highest. But you are telling me at the deathbed. Then Venerable Sariputta says, we are not teaching these things to the lay people because they have enough thing to contemplate and their mind is so much obsessed with other things. We think they can't understand these things. But among monks we are discussing. Then he says, my last request, don't discriminate lay people. As my request, please. Then he says that as far as it is your last request, considerable. And that is almost like Bahya Sutta. What Sariputta Venerable was mentioning. So then they both report same to the Buddha. That first chapter is finished. Episode is finished. Night, the Devata came and uttered this Gatha. And the Buddha gave answer. And then, so it is significant so much, so the Buddha in the congregation of monks, he says last night there was one Devata came and he was so happy to indicate idang hitan jetavanang isi sangha nisevitang. I am so happy to see the Jetavana, the grove, because it is always acquainted with the very serious monks, and Buddha also dwelling there, 20 vassas continuously. And therefore, the piti, niramisha piti, and immaterial pleasure happened to me. Then the Buddha is telling, for that kind of well-being, for that kind of an upliftment, for that kind of purification, so you have to kammang vijjāta dhammoca sīlaṃ. Your deeds, your intuitive knowledge, and your Dhamma knowledge and sīla make you uplifted. Not by birth, not by money. And knowing that people, those who have self-compassion and self-love or self-upliftment, self-purification, they are going for kammang vijjāca paññāca dhammoca sīlaṃ jīvitam uttama. They are not worrying about their caste or money. That is how monks are setting their example, and out of that Sariputta is the most exemplified monk. Immediately Venerable Sariputta raised his hand. Bhante, that must be definitely the Anathapindika, the next life. Then Buddha asked him why. Yeah, last minute we were with him and he was desperately in the pain. He explained everything and he was about to pass away. He would have gone to the heaven or celestial sphere, and from there only he is coming to meet you and utterance. So therefore, whenever today, if someone is offering a property, if someone is offering a dwelling place, if someone is offering houses, this is the Gatha we monks quote. If once you given, if it is acquainted and used by monks, those who are serious about kammang vijjāca dhammoca, their deeds and their intuitive knowledge and Dhamma knowledge and sīla, idang hita pīti sañjananam mama, for that particular person, ever they are in happiness. So this is how the interpretation we can get from the Anathapindiko Vada Sutta. Venerable Khemananda, with the permission of Venerable Jnanarama Maha Thero, he gave a sermon to the monks, and his name given, of course in Sinhala, Asanna Bana. That means for the sinking people. Dhammadesana for the sinking people. In the last minute, about to die, and we published the book. And this is the Gatha Venerable Kemananda uttered when people offering the Kuti number 25. Venerable Jnanaram also was there. And the sermon was given by Venerable Kemananda Maha Thero, and he quoted this Siddhang Hitan Jetavanang, Isi Sangati Lisevitang, Sevitang Sauttan Dhamma Rajena, Piti Sanjananam Mame. So therefore you have to understand where the world is heading today. Leaving aside what their deeds, their intuitivity, and their understanding of Dhamma, Sila, completely neglected. That's a basic cause, basic drive to neglect them is the education. That is called obligatory schools. Their main purpose is to have a hidden curriculum and to cut off moral education. So we in Satipasala try to understand it. We give a reform. Take the children from the classroom setup and give them the understanding about the nature, understanding about the moral responsibility, understanding about the mutual understanding of, moral literacy, emotional literacy, and then to be a member of the society. And whenever they are mature enough, we can teach them sati, sampajanya and all the kind of thing. But the mind basic, bear attention, the sati just starting point is what we are teaching in the schools, because I am very well aware what the damage the present education is doing to the psychology of the understanding of the child mind, and that is why they are very, very aggressive and they are very nasty and they are immoral because of education. It is, I call, conspiracy. But to redo it, we must not destroy education. Through the education, we have to slowly introduce the moral responsibilities for each and every child, and that also very senior monks are telling, we can't teach it, but we can let the children learn it. So therefore we are in 21st century learning education, learning skills, not the teaching skills. In my case, I am not a good educationist or teaching person, but I know how to learn. That's how I gain some knowledge and understanding from U Pandita Sayadu and Venerable Jnanarama Maha Thero and Kemananda Maha Thero. So I understood that it's my capacity to understand it rather than their teaching system. So I invite everyone to catalyze your learning capacity rather than searching good teachers. Difficult to get teachers like Venerable Sariputta. But anyway, for the last 30-40 years, there is a revival in Vipassana. That means some people are developing the learning skills. So don't underestimate. You get the complete capacity, possibilities and potential. Please look forward. Then you feel like we are living in the contemporary time of Buddha. Wish to open the discussion if anyone is having any remarks or any.
Asai Swamin Wahanse, just to pick a section of the sutta where it says action, knowledge, righteousness, virtue, an excellent life, by these are mortals purified, not by clan or wealth. Now about that, when I just started meditating, I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw how dark I am, and I thought about this meditation that I have now started picking up. Is it really for me? I think maybe it's for Indians and Sri Lankans Like this gentleman, you see, he looks more like the way the Buddha is depicted than me. So I kept telling myself, maybe he has a better chance of becoming enlightened than me.
To be Buddha.
Yes.
So
But
that is how if we are contemplating on the matter or the physical part. So that is the starting point. Everyone, that is why the Buddha says he is having 32 special features, Maha Purusha Lakkana. And anyone can feel something special, even before the enlightenment. And he was born in the highest caste.
wasn't he born in the caste of the warriors?
The warriors is the second, but when the time comes for the Buddha, the Brahmins deteriorating. Warriors are coming out. Mahavira and the Buddha is very, very significant in that sense. And the warriors kept Brahmana as a government advisor. But they are not warriors. They are not the rulers. But according to the Brahmana literature, they say they are the superior. But the Buddha, after the enlightenment, he discarded the caste system. But he selected the warrior capacity, warrior caste. And in the center of the India, that is a fairly sustainable economy. So these kind of things are important. The physical features important. Our mind is so accustomed to take the matter as the norm. So the shape, the color, there are only two things as far as the visual things are concerned. Shape and the color. So accordingly we have superiority, inferiority. So accordingly, two things. One thing, what is the society is imposing upon us, and the other one is how I feel about myself when we are comparing with other people. So these parts, they try to incorporate it into the psychoanalysis. In 1924, some people were happy, but there was some criticism. This is not done. So psychoanalysis try to keep it without sociology, without individuality. So that was a turmoil for Sigmund Freud. So likewise, when we are developing, we have to understand not only the rupa, but the feelings are there. Perception, volitional activities and the mind. For that, we are not even at the kindergarten level. But they are not verifiable, they are not measurable. But the rupa, that's what Isaac Newton found it, measurable, three-dimensional, concrete. So it is sustainable. Everyone can accept it. But the Vedana, your good thing may be not my good thing. Because we are brought up from the different cultures. But the Buddha find all of our feelings have some common thing, it's arising, passing away. And if you do not understand, if you are subject to the pain or pleasure, then you are in samsara. You have to go beyond that. And then perception. Likewise, so we are advancing.
Right, so in the end, I was able to be convinced that it doesn't matter what your rupa looks like.
Yeah.
If you put in if you do what you ought to do, then the results will just keep coming, no matter where you're from.
That is what we call kammang.
Mm.
Kammang vijjāca dhammoca. Kammang means your deeds. So whatever it may be, but what you do is physical and verbal. And that indicates the person, what is the starting balance and how it is improving or decreasing. Still may be connected with the society, or thus your deeds leading you to the least frictional path, or you are messing up day by day, or you are going to more and more freedom or relaxation or liberation. So therefore karma theory is important, and they are in the large scale, in the three-dimensional way, it gives moral responsibility. What you do, good begets good, bad begets bad. Otherwise we think, no, if you have money, if you are educated and if you are in a good hands, no harm. Whatever you do, everyone will be pardoned and I will not be punished. But karma is a different story. It gives due consequences. So therefore you have to understand it.
They say that karma is unlike, what's the saying again? They say that karma is like a restaurant without menus. You don't just get what you order, you get what you deserve.
Yeah. Oh, karma also, in a sense, just like a CCTV camera and what is recorded. It is no bias. Exactly the thing is there, you have to accept it. But when you see it later, you may not claim that I have done it, but it has happened through you. But you are responsible. So it is like a action replay, slow motion. When you look at it, you can't imagine, is that me? So it's a different dimension, and that is only Hinduism and Buddhism accept. Other religions, they say it's a will of the God. So that distortion is a important event in the human's evolution and the psychology. The acceptance or not karma and karma theory, that is atheists, they don't accept it, scientists, they don't accept it, but they come across unexpected good and bad things. They can't explain it. But if the karma and karma theory is there, don't apply karma and karma theory for everywhere. But whenever you have lost the rationality, you have to attribute that to the karma and karma theory, karma results.
And to go back to the same stanza, this Anathapindika, he was righteous and he was virtuous. He was able to attain Sotapatti, fruition. And so I have a question about righteousness and virtue. We as meditators, we look up to these old masters, these figures in the suttas, and we wish, I also want to have these qualities. I want to be righteous. I want to be virtuous. But we find that when we try to do that, we get some friction. When we try to be something, when we try to not be something, and then some other teachings in the suttas, they tell us that stop trying to be that. When you are trying to be something, you're only creating more friction for yourself. You are strengthening or reinforcing this I. And so long as I is there, then suffering will always follow you. How do we as meditators become righteous and virtuous without wanting to actually be that?
Yeah, that is recently in a book, it tried to communicate teaching and learning, obligatory schools and your basic rights to learn. And they reduce into two words. Teaching is giving an expectation, learning is just a hope. So therefore expectation always end up with disappointment. But a hope, you have no much of expectation, you just do it. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, whatever it may be. So I took the same shadow of meaning, shades of meaning, to the meditation and mindfulness. Meditation make you give expectations. But I asked many people, specifically the closer circle, don't meditate, just be mindful. Don't meditate. Meditation make you psychiatric. Expectation. Going up and up, becoming Sotapanna, becoming the Dibba Chakku Jnana, getting Udayabbe Jnana. And ultimately you become a joker. But the mindfulness says when I sit and close my eyes, what happened? When I walk, what happened? It is, anyone can try, anyone can say yes or no. Verifiability is there. But the meditation make a big picture, gloss over picture, more religious, and you try to be a virtuous person. All these things are ideologies. So mindfulness, whether you are Buddhist or non-Buddhist, whether you are a criminal, whether you are a cancer patient, whether you are any other state in the social status, no harm. You can be mindful. And just before going this trip, it was little too much for me, but anyway, I went to the Kapitipola Maha in the Gampa. Hemanta told at least Pante, a whole school is geared, so therefore I have 1 hour at least. So it's about 30-45 minutes drive. So I went there, then they have already started, that I was there, and Hemant also was there. So I just wanted to get their participation. So I asked, anyone wish to share your experience of mindfulness in sitting and walking, whatever it may be? No one is responding. So it happened me to crack jokes and tell stories, and then one girl came. And everyone started clapping, grade 9. And when she come to the podium, Hemanta was at the podium, she had the attack or shock with the stage fear. And she went to the Hemanta, told, my throat is dried, legs are shivering, I can't talk. Understand? Yeah. Then Hemant asked, are you mindful about them or not? She told, yes, I am mindful. Told it to talk about that. Everyone can understand. You never expected to get the stage fear until you come to the stage. You came to talk something else and you feel it. It is the truth. She came. Then he told, when I come here, I had that problem, so Hemanta gave me an answer, so I am mindful, I start. So I am going to say that when I am meditating also, my mind was jumping up and down. I noticed it, and then I thought, what a great thing that you have, know the mindfulness and unmindfulness. Then I asked, knowing mindfulness and unmindfulness, which one is better? Both are the same, Bhante. Then I told I would like to have another opinion. Anyone? No one is coming. Then I told my headmistress. Everyone was happy that headmistress is coming to the stage and giving experience. They told, yes, Bhante, I also was sitting, and children start shouting. I feel ashamed. Because I got with all effort only you come to our school, but I have so much of vice principals. They are not coming here, they are not taking care of the children also. Immediately I came to know that is the anger. And then I calmed down. Later it happened, it was possible for me to go to the breath and all the kind of thing. Then I asked Madam that your understanding of unmindfulness and understanding of mindfulness, which one is better? Which one is more skillful? She told, understanding unmindfulness is better. But this girl says they both are the same. But I like your answer. You know why? Because understanding unmindfulness won't give any conceit, no egotism. Understanding mindfulness, you always think, I am the person got the mindfulness, now I am successful. So you consider this as self-aggrandization. But understanding unmindfulness make you humble. Not humiliating. It is, my duty is to tell you it is nothing to get humiliated. You are in a great understanding. Without mindfulness you can't understand unmindfulness. So in the last trip, I quoted this in number of places. I told them, many people, those who are with the moral shame and the moral fear, they don't appreciate unmindfulness. They think it is bad. But how difficult for them to practice, and more than practice, to report in a stage, in a meeting, I have so much of unmindfulness, that is I call humbleness. That is I call the simplicity. You have to appreciate it. Then no worries in future. The worries are because of expectation. But if you are just hope, mindfulness is hope. So I invite everyone, just have a hope but no expectation. Whether have a hope or not, just be mindful. Mindfulness will lead to the proper, therefore your purification, your upliftment is assured as far as you are mindful. Meditation also, yes, but it ultimately gives you a receipt or bill. You have to pay so much. Mindfulness is free of charge.
Yes, so Nancy, I always thought that when someone says that I want to be humble, that's a conceiving. It's a conceit. They are fabricating things, making things up in the mind, and in their attempt to be humble, the opposite happens. The conceit keeps growing and growing, and then there's the comparing. I am more humble than this one, or this one is just as humble as me, or I am less humble than this one. Oh, it's like a trap. And this reminds me of this one sutta, which was the topic of Chandaratana Swami Nohanse's retreats in Australia, the most recently, Yavakalapi Sutta. Yavakalapa Sutta, where the Buddha says, he gives a story of the Asuras and the gods, and they were fighting, and the king of the Asuras was captured, and he started this thing. When he starts thinking that...
Five bones.
Yeah. When he starts thinking that I am better than the gods, I am superior to the gods, then by that conceiving, he is bound by Mara. But when he does not think that, when he does not keep promoting himself, thinking that I am this or I am not this, I will be this or I will not be this, then he is free from the bondages of Mara.
So it's a very marvelous example of the Vepachitti Asurendra, Asura king. Get the five bondages, and if he accept the present situation, bondages loses. Again he says, no, I am the Mara, I am the Asura, and kind of bondage. So exactly, if you let the breath to happen normal, it is mindfulness. If you are going to breathe, you get headaches, disappointments, because forced breathing. So that itself will take 2-3 retreats you have to practice just to breathe, because otherwise you are doing something. So that is the part you have to do in your early part of your life. When you become old age, people do meditation and they develop unwanted complications in the air columns and the nervous system because of forced breathing. And to be humble, we find it so difficult to explain. But before the age 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are simply humble. No conceit. Where did you assume that? Your education. Schooling. Simply because of the obligatory schooling. So now you see with so much of conceit, Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Iran, America. What they are talking nonsense. People are dying without something to eat. How much is for one missile? How much one warplane to take off? Overhead cost. You can buy one ambulance. One bullet can give one plate of rice. And one warplane, you can put 100-bed hospital. But they are not concerned. That because of conceit. So we also assume because we gain education, money, everything. So today I am going to talk down. And it says in the Maha Sutta, Tika Nikaya, Deka, number 2. He says, Vedana Pacchaya Tanha. Understand? Feelings lead you to have the pleasure principle. Always have pleasure. You are happy to have pleasure with your family members, you and tomorrow and everyone, and that is based on the Vedana. And whenever Tanha happens, you do research to have more pleasure. And that is what the today's research. And suppose if it is good and you gain something out of your research. Soon you gain, you develop you think it is me. And ajosana. Other people also conduct a research, they are failure, might is successful, and therefore this gain is mine. Soon you develop jealousy. It must not be fair with the others. I must have the authority of my own gain. And then to implement that, you have to jurisdiction. This is my property, my patent. Research is the result of my research, not equal to the others. Don't touch it. If you are going to touch, you will be punished. I have to take a cane. I have to take a sword. I have to interpret. And then I have to use harsh words. I have to slander. I have to lie. All set of akusalas because of Vedana Pacchaya Tanha. And the conceit because of your gain. If you are Kaluhamduro, you are not conceited about Kaluhamduro. But if you are Sudhuhamduro, from birth you think I am superior. I am just telling the common sense. So likewise, our birth in the middle class is a blessing. We are not the top class, we are not the bottom class. Middle class, we are in the middle class, lower middle, upper middle. Well, so that is what we have to understand. Our understanding and development in terms of comparison with the others, that is completely away from meditation. It's completely away from present-day education. Present-day education is make you sick. It is make you cancerous. And that is, in the Western, Eastern education says, Vidya Dadati Vinaya. More you learn, you will be more docile, you will be more calm. But today what is happening? More than grade 1, grade 2 children are more naughty. 3, 4, 5, 6, grade 10, 12, university, postgraduate. Very difficult to control. So that is what government is spending so much of money. They are rebelling against the government. And parents are selling their properties and teaching. Each and every child is hating their parents. So that is what the Buddha says. These things are not making you uplifted. Kammang vijjasa dhammocha silan jeevitam uttama. Therefore, take care about whatever you do. Moral responsibility, that is completely eroded. And that is the hidden curriculum of the present day Western education. Sorry, it has run the world for 200 years. Or little more than, together with the scientific development and mass production. Now people, after education, they become guinea pigs. They are doing a job to a multi-million companies, and they don't know what they are doing. They are working in a production chain, fixing that part. You don't know what the end product is. End product is the war crime. End product is the pharmaceutical industry selling of these poisons. They don't know. All the scientists, 99%. So knowing that, mindfulness make you humble, and more than earning and gaining, not having that and understanding how purified I am depending on someone given. We are beggars. So, just like natural breath rather than artificial breathing or forced breathing. And just you like a child before 6 age, how simple, how aesthetic, how lovable. When you grow, nothing to wash and clean. So therefore don't think it's a difficult task, because we came from that. So we have our memory. And psychiatric analysis, they says, they thought after 6 years our brain is hardwired circuit. You can't change it, because it is a God will. But mindfulness says neuroplasticity, train your mind and change your brain, and your meditation, mindfulness is going up to the chromosome level, at the nucleus level of each and every cell, not only the brain. So we are living in such a revolutionary area. Do learning, no harm, but be aware the mistake of it. Okay, we are about to close the session. Anyone wish to participate or give comments or ideas, we can take few minutes.
Yeah, Avsarai Bante, Vimal Disanayaka indicated to talk.
Vimal,
I'll
yes.
allow him to talk.
Yes, Vimal.
Avsarai Thero, I think audience can hear me.
Yes.
Actually, I was in to participate in a singular discussion, but now actually it is a Dhamma listening sort of things. My question is disappeared. Now new thing. I came into the English discussion. It is a very nice discussion actually. I try to compose this as heard Vedana Paccha Dhanha in this discussion. Also before I heard Buddha's mind, Passa Paccha Vedana, from Vedana it is going to dispassion. The lay person, so the non-Arya people, from that Vedana try to proliferate things, short of things. This is the changing point, Vedana to see the Nirodha. That is the thing in the mindfulness we want to regularly observe. That is what I gain from the discussion. I thought of sharing my idea. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, Vedana 3 times, pleasurable, unpleasurable, and no pain, no pleasure. And on top of that, there are 2 more shadows. Whenever painful feeling happen, your mind develop kind of a domanassa Vedana, mental one, what the hell that I am always getting this kind of thing. Or whenever you have pleasure, mind develop pleasure hormones. Oh, I am the person did it, and that mind-based pleasure. So 5 shades. But Vedana never goes to cessation, because either you hate or love it. Only the cessation point is in no pain, no pleasure area. So that is what we call boredom. That's what we call monotony. That's why we call sleepy, tasteless, eventless. So it's very common in meditation spheres, but usually they give up. But if you can convincing, the no pain, no pleasure is the middle path, but very difficult to convince. Otherwise, your hate and love for the pain and pleasure is simply put by Sigmund Freud. They call we and all living beings are in the pleasure principle. Always expecting pleasure, but the death is always end up with the pain. So therefore the Buddha explained from that pain or feeling to the tanha, pleasure principle, end up with this defilement in the Mahanidana Sutta, number of stages. And it gives a simple theory. If you are gaining something in the household life, you are becoming more distant from the Nibbana. That is very difficult to sell. But for the meditators, sometimes we can just tell, that is why you come here. That's why you became a monk, and that is not the social order. You are against, but you have to facilitate and catalyze it. Today, English discussion also, we started only with I started with Kalu Hamdro, Dhammajiva. Then I told, if the Zoom people are there, we can take time. So we have taken more than 45 minutes. So it is giving some different shadows, different shades of meaning. So therefore, Vedana Paccha Tanha, and Tanha leading to suffering. How the Buddha is studying Tanha is leading to suffering. Tanha Paccha Paryesanam, Paryesanam Paccha Labo, Labam Paccha Ajjosanam, Ajjosana Paccha Macharyam, Macharya Paccha Adhikarana, Macharya Adhikaranam, then Danda Dana, Satta Dana, Pesunya Musavado. So, whenever you are going to decide about what you earn, you think it is my effort and kind of thing, you are up to anything. You are become a dictator. That's why your gain is ultimately. You are also cutting your throat and disturbing others also because of conceit. So we all are gained. We all are above average. So how to make us humble? So people say, see, Dhammajiva is a very good example for that. But I am a person with so much of pride. And I feel it. But sometimes people are coming and say, no, you are a good example. And I know how Venerable Jnanarama, how Pandita Sayadaw is, it is not a good example for that, because he's an authoritarian. He's a master. He's always marshalling. Jnanarama is 25 years he living in this room. No one on the earth knows there's such a big monk is living there. No one in the village. But I came to know accidentally. Then I thought of becoming a disciple and living under him. I had 1.5 years or so as his assistant. And I scrutinized as much as possible, reading his books and kind of thing. He did a very big turning point in the Sasana. And therefore our path is paved. Only we have to go. But make yourself more humble. But Vimal is not a good example. Vimal is an engineer. Each and every meeting I have to hit him. And he knows. Vimal knows. But the good thing is, he knows how to present it and he knows how to write a report. So I am very weak in that sense. So I have to hit Vimal, but get the job done. Just like the bull in the bullock cart. I have to hit him, but I have to pull the cart. So therefore, Vimal, we have to play this game, where this drama, for number of years to come. Vimal?
That is very nice. Actually, the Nirodha sort of things I observe from the Zoom single discussion. There are about 77 participants. Now close to end, it is coming to 21. Gradually, it is sort of Nirodha also. I mean, every discussions, our thing getting dispassionate sort of feeling is happening, but we have to participate in the...
It may be due to the language also, but more than that, how the participation of the listeners indicate the dispassionate or not. But both subjects we were talking are not simple thing. We are very deep. We are very involved. People have to talk with their direct experience. Otherwise they become jokers. So therefore very little put their hands. But anyway, more than 20 years, now we are more in these subjects. We are talking about that. Many people participate. So I see the progress, slow but steady, painfully slow. But we are airing our views when compared with the 10-20 years. And for that, the main thing, main key, I see as the mindfulness. Mindfulness make these possibilities and potentials. Thank you very much.
එහෙමයි සානස්.
හොඳයි කුමාරය එහෙනම් වෙන මොකුත් කතා කරන්න නැත්නම් කවුරු හරි අපි ඕසද හම්දුරන්න කියමු. We'll ask Osada to end up this. Anyone? No?
Okay, Bhante. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I say, for the merits we have accrued, listening, discussing, hearing the Dhamma, we would like to extend these merits to all beings, far or near, great or small, gross or subtle, seen and unseen. We would also like to extend our merits to our teachers, our parents, our relatives, all celestial beings. May they all rejoice in our merits. May all celestial beings protect the Buddha Sasana and the Dhamma exposition of the Buddha for a long time. And may the seeds of Dhamma that we have received continue to grow, producing path and fruition, and eventually Nibbana. I invite everyone to join in the recitation of the traditional Pali verses for the sharing of merits.